to create higher cost sharing for inappropriate ER usage, and that's something else that we struggled with from a policy perspective. The legislature's actually put in some penalties for inappropriate ER usage in the current Medicaid program, and obviously our waiver, a lot of the focus of the 1115 waiver is trying to decrease uncompensated care and divert folks out of hospital ER. So that personal responsibility, I think, is very helpful. And again, a couple things to hit on there. Obviously, anything that we can do on the wellness side is helpful, and then the health savings account option is something that resonates with services as well. And then just the final piece of that is I think we've got to do a better job of explaining the financing of ACA and how it impacts hospitals, because really even folks that we get to agree with us on the policy, they're really kind of their last concern is the fact that we ought not be maximizing federal funds because of the federal budget situation. And so I think that's where it's really important for us to remember that we hospitals are actually on the hook for financing a large portion of this. We've actually got a graphic that's been very helpful that shows the ACA cuts and how they ramp up over time. We've added the sequestration cuts to that as well as the state Medicaid cuts, and it creates a pretty compelling picture of really a business model that will not work going forward if we don't solve the coverage expansion piece of the equation. So again, that's not something that's easy to do kind of in a communications or out to the public, but I think it is something that kind of in these one-on-one conversations, it's good to make sure we explain to members of the legislature how we've actually been taking cuts since 2011 to help finance this coverage expansion. So really the key, and we certainly have interfaced with our colleagues in some of the other states that have gotten this done, is really for the hospitals to take action to create a groundswell, political groundswell to get this done. And although we'll talk a lot about in the next few minutes about how we want to de-identify this as a THA initiative or even a provider-only initiative, when I talk to my colleagues in other states, at the end of the day, it is the hospitals that are carrying the water on this issue. And so I think, we're fully prepared to be the back office, if you will, to get all of this done, but we really need you all leveraging your other folks in your community to get this done and to really have those one-on-one conversations, kind of a hearts and minds, if you will, conversation with your elected leaders on this issue. Obviously, we're going to try to use, our considerable grassroots ability. Obviously, your government relations staff has already been well engaged in this. They were very helpful last session. They've been very helpful in our political HOSPAC process as we've tried to make this a key issue as we've evaluated contacts. So we'll continue to interface with them. We are going to identify hospital leaders in each of your regions that we really want to take the lead on this, both with their colleagues and with community leaders, chambers of commerce, other business officials, and I think that's going to be very helpful as well. We want to make sure we don't forget the rural hospital leaders in each of these regions, because the rural story is going to be always a little bit different than what's going on in some of the urban areas, but we think that's is still a very important issue to get out there. Hospital trustees, Stacy and her team have been very helpful in helping identify trustees that can be a part of these regional teams. Stacy actually asked Lance and me to present to her board retreat, and we gave this presentation at their lunch meeting, and I think it went very well. And then local business leaders. I think that's going to kind of manifest itself in several different ways. Obviously, we'd like to identify business leaders to help take the lead on this. We also know many of you have already been working with your chambers of commerce to either get this on their legislative agenda or get them to pass resolutions of support. So we'll continue to look for that. And then we're actually working on focusing on the political aspect of this and actually getting some resources on the ground to help us with some of these more conservative legislators to make some of those, set up some one-on-one meetings with those folks and some of the Tea Party group leaders, if you will, in some of those communities to at least get in front of them and explain the issue, because they haven't necessarily heard from the hospital side on that. So I think it's important that we do that legwork before the session, and we've got a plan to do that. So basically, what Lance and I are working on right now is we've divided the state up into regions. We're looking for hospital business leaders, faith-based leaders, trustee leaders in each of those regions to really take the lead on this. So that's going to be the kind of the grassroots piece of this. So I'm going to kick it back to Lance to just talk about some of the resources that he and his team have created.
Thanks, John. So you can see right now a lot of the message and the identity we've developed that we've outlined today at www.texasway.com. And that site is live. You may find a couple of links in there that aren't exactly up to par, but we are getting content onto that page as we speak. To see kind of the game plan on paper that John just outlined as far as the grassroots, go to texasway.com/grassroots, and you can go to that's a password protected page. Type in Texas Way 2015, all lowercase. That's password Texas Way 2015, and you can see a couple of links on there that will give you the state's breakdown and that regional breakdown of leaders that we're looking for. On one of those documents, you can see kind of the PDF map of the whole state, but on the other one, you can see a grid of a kind of a checklist breakdown of all the various things that we'll need each of these leaders to achieve. That includes reaching out to legislators. That includes reaching out to media with a letter to the editor and an op-ed, that material which we're preparing and will make available if you just shoot us an email or a message via that site. But there are a number of other elements as well that we'll need you to fulfill. So if you are interested, you can click the Take Action button there and get us some information, get us your information, and sign up. In addition to the website, we'll also be next week kicking off the full campaign. You can see the release that we'll be doing of the policy position documents based on those messages that Stephanie outlined. We've done, obviously, as you can see from that site, the identity development of the Texas Way material, the logo, etc. Currently, we're in the midst of video production. We'll be launching some TV and online video content, radio spots, newspaper advertising, and magazine ads. We're considering the possibility of outdoor display. At the same time, the earned media message is going to be pretty significant in our efforts, and we'll be using our Strategic Communications Constituency Council that THA works with, made up of hospital communications stakeholders around the state. Included in that, the other media that we'll be implementing will be online display ads. So if you're on the Texas Tribune or any of the other sites that we kind of work out some deals on, with specific behavior monitored content, we'll be on those as well. So with that's a little bit of a rough outline of that site or of our effort. We will be on social media. You can go right now to facebook.com/TheTexasWay. That's our Facebook page. Please click like. You'll start to see some content rolling out there a week from today. At the same time, you can go to our Twitter profile and please follow us. That's twitter.com/TheRealTXWay. Please, like I said, follow us there, and you'll be able to get all of our information as we roll it out. For any of those other deliverables and collateral, please be checking back to the TexasWay.com site where we'll be updating all of that. Ted, you're up. Operator, can we go ahead and open up to any questions?
Yes, sir. At this time, we will open the floor for questions. If you would like to ask a question, please press the star key followed by the 1 key on your touch-tone phone now. Questions will be taken in the order in which they are received. If at any time you would like to remove yourself from the questioning queue, you may press star 2. Again, to ask a question, please press star 1.
Well, Operator, before we go there, this is Ted Shaw. I wanted to say a couple things, and that is just to remind everybody how big of a program this is. And also to remind you, we were at an event with Cindy Mann from CMS this last week, and in front of the Dallas Regional Chambers healthcare group, she described the fact that Texas is leaving $18 million a day on the table, and you guys are paying for it. So the team has put a lot of impressive work in this. You can see that in the detail. The THA board approved the program last week, and along with that, they also approved a member assessment to help fund it. John Hawkins will be working with our financial staff to determine what the fee schedule is and get it out to you. We are very pleased with the direction that this is taking, but it won't happen without your support. This can be driven, and it has to be driven by the grassroots part of this. So please take the time to get the messaging, to get the talking points, and how your hospital leadership team can get involved. And those of you that have already taken action now, you can log on to the Texas Way website and to sign in your support at www.texasway.com/take-action. And thanks again. Now we can go to questions.
Again, to ask a question. Okay, our first question comes from Matt Gallivan with the Community Health System.
Hey, gang. I want to thank you for all the efforts put into this. I was late coming to the call, so I apologize, but wanted to ask, is there one piece of paper that sort of summarizes the key points in terms of the number of people that could be covered, the amount of money that's being paid in, as was just mentioned, in terms of being turned away each day of $18 million per day, and that sort of thing? I've briefly looked over some of the materials. I just wondered if there's one summary set of talking points that hit all the key items.
Yeah,
boiled
Matt.
down.
Yeah, Matt, this is Lance. Thanks a lot for that question, and I'm sure that there are a lot of details that could be hit, and with each of our documents, there's a number of questions that could come up, so feel free to shoot us an email. But the main one is that overview document that's on texasway.com. If you'll go there to the Issues tab and click that, we have basically one overview document and then the individual main issues document there, and there's a place to also download PDFs of those. And like I said, if your question is not completely answered and some of those key talking points you're looking for, do shoot me an email.
Yeah, and maybe, Matt, this is John, maybe we can just create like a facts and figures document, because one of the things I just thought of is we've kind of de-emphasized the money side of this in some of those overview documents, but it is probably good information that you might want to have in a one-on-one conversation. So maybe we'll create just a facts and figures type of a document that has just bullets with that type of information.
That would be great, thanks. And again, apologize I was late to the call.
Well, I want to thank everybody for participating today. This is an incredibly important program for all of us. This means a heck of a lot of money to our Texas hospitals and taking care of patients. So please get involved, and it's going to be driven locally. So thank you. Operator, I think unless there's other questions, we can close it at this point.
There are currently no